On this episode of the Procedurally Generated Show, Shannon becomes John Wick, Tony collects a bunch of letters, while Ethan delivers pizza and underwear. We talk about the week's biggest news and answer your questions. Well, howdy, everybody. Welcome to the Procedurally Generated Show. I'm your host, Tony, and joining me this week, I've got Ethan.
Hey, Tony.
What's up?
I made pizza today.
You made pizza today. Did you deliver it to anybody?
No, but we had to go. It was me and Izzy. We had to go out of town to get pizza crust. We tried making our own with mix. It was bad.
It didn't work?
No, it did not. That's I had the thing about delivering the pizza and the underwear in the show notes like probably 4 or 5 days ago. I don't know whenever you sent it. So that was unrelated to what happened today. That's just a funny coincidence.
A happy coincidence?
Yes.
Do they not have pizza crust anywhere in the town you live in?
There should have already been like pre-made pizza crust. Couldn't find it. Couldn't find the the Pillsbury, that thing that's wrapped in the cardboard tube that you break open and it explodes a little bit. Yeah, we found one of those and it was like, well, we want to make like 3 pizzas. Well, 2 pizzas and breadsticks.
It sounds like you're having a dough shortage.
Yeah, so we had to go out of town and get it.
And out of town for you guys is not close, I don't think.
That was like 15 miles. It's like,
oh, that's not bad.
It's like 30 minutes there and back.
Yeah, that's not terrible. Well, also joining us this week, Ethan, we got
Hello.
Hi.
What's going on, sir?
Oh, not much.
Have you ever driven to another town to get food?
I have. Yeah. I've driven to another state to get food.
That's true.
Like the one thing that is always a common in this family is people get whatever they want for dinner on their birthday.
Yeah.
Sometimes it turns into lunch. But still, like, you get your choice of birthday meal regardless.
We do the same thing.
Yeah, if it's something we can make happen, we make it happen. Lauren typically likes to choose Lambert's, which is in Sikeston, Missouri.
Ooh.
About a 3-ish hour drive.
That's a long way to drive.
I'm a big fan of either Taco Bueno or going to Bojangles.
Man, every time you mention that too.
The closest Bojangles is in Dixon, Tennessee, which is about an hour and 45 minutes. And then Bojangles is, Taco Bueno is Little Rock, which is about 2.5.
Man, you drive a long... I would not drive that far for Taco Bueno. I'm sorry.
So, like, my birthday's in the summer, and there's a pretty cool water park in Little Rock. Shout out to Wild River Country. It's pretty cool, pretty neat water park, and that, like, if we can convince family to make a day out of it, because I also share my birthday with my sister-in-law. My sister-in-law, down to the year and the date, we have the exact same birthday. She's 8 hours older than I. It's a thing every year. So if we can convince the whole family to make a day out of the water park, we'll usually end up talking.
Yeah, if we ever moved to where we were that far away from a Taco Bueno, I think I'd have to do that for my wife, but there is no way I would drive that far for Taco Bueno. I'm sorry, I can't do it. The food's not that good.
Just be glad. Well, see, Whataburger is about the same. So, like, there's Whataburger in Jackson, Mississippi, and that's about the closest. And that's easily a 4-ish hour drive. And we have done that before. Like, it's not a fun drive, but you make your spouse happy.
That's true.
You make your mother-in-law happy, and it's a thing.
Well, all right. We could spend all day talking about food, but let's not do that. What have you been playing this week, Shannon?
So I picked up the hottest hot release on the Oculus Quest, and that is a game.
What is
Man,
this?
I have been waiting for this game. I saw a trailer of this back in August.
What is the game again?
It's called Pistol Whip.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is basically John Wick Simulator, the game.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought that was super hot.
Oh, this is even better. Like Super Hot. Super Hot does a good job at making you feel invincible. This does that, but it makes it feel like a crazy action movie as well. Like Super Hot has like that weird story going through it that, you know, you're kind of assimilating your brain into the system and fighting the man through the internet or through some Russian tape or technology or something crazy. But man, Pistol Whip is like it's Super Hot meets Beat Saber.
That's quite a combination.
Yeah. So you go through you're basically walking down a hallway, but I mean you're obviously in real life you're standing completely still, but the hallway is just kind of scrolling around you. You have to dodge obstacles like stationary obstacles, and then you have bad dudes just kind of popping up all around you, shooting at you. All the while, there is an awesome movie action scene soundtrack that's playing, and the bad guys are popping in time with music. So you are scored based on how well you are executing these kills in time with the music, dodging bullets in time with the music, and just being a complete total, I want to say, badass. I'm sorry, Ethan, you probably had that, but it's awesome. It's so cool. They've even gone to the point of like each one of the levels has amazing movie posters that they've created for each one of them. So like when you're in the level select screen, you're picking the movie poster and shooting the movie poster. Pretty cool. All of the weapons, all of the guns that you get in the game are all like digital scans of real guns as well. So like I have kind of gravitated towards the Beretta 92, which they call the Ferretta 92.
Nice.
So it's just like and they're well done recreations of real world fire. It's got the feel nailed perfect. It feels great. VR is done really well. Walk away just with that feeling of invincibility and just awesome. They did it really well. I haven't had a moment where I've been upset with tracking or where I've walked away and gone, man, I just wasted an hour. No, every time I've played the game, it feels awesome. Feel like invincible for that time. It's just
That's
as far as I know, it's coming to PlayStation VR. It's on Oculus Quest and Rift right now. I think it might also be on Vive. I'm not entirely sure what it's released for, but it's supposed to do all the platforms.
Well, I'm gonna have to find some video of this game.
I will send it to you. Break. I will make that happen. I think I shared a video of this in the line chat. But, you know, it's all good. Highly recommend. If anybody listening has a way to play virtual reality stuff, look for this game. It is awesome.
I can play it on Labo.
A way to play a non-Nintendo way to play virtual reality game.
Okay, well, I don't.
To play Pistol Whip, Correct.
Yeah, if you have a way to play pistol whip,
Okay.
then yes, pick it
Yeah,
up.
I don't have one of those, unfortunately.
Sorry.
So, well, all right. Is that it?
Unless you guys want to talk about, cutting down trees and and doing yard work. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
And flying
That's
leaf blowers.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what about you, Ethan? What have you been playing?
Death Stranding. Still
Of course.
doing stuff on there. I forget if I was on chapters 4, 5, or 6 or whatever last time I talked about it.
I don't remember.
But if I'm still there, or if that's what I was talking about last time, I'm still there, is what I'm trying to say. I have not really progressed beyond that point. All I'm doing is making deliveries while farming uh, materials from the mule people.
Mm-hmm.
The they're the people that steal materials so they can deliver them for themselves or something, I guess, for money. I don't really know what they want them for. But what I've been doing is rebuilding a road with auto pavers across the map. And I have the north-south road built, north to south. And then a midway point, the road just breaks off to the west. And I'm probably almost done building that half of it, I guess. And then I will have a full road built that I can just drive across the country on.
That would make it much easier to get around, I think.
Yeah, it really would. And it would be very convenient if it didn't deteriorate the road as well, but people are constantly putting materials in there to keep the roads going. I'm guessing because it's a shared online thing. Even though I'm the one who built the road for my world, occasionally I can see like roads other people have built,
Yeah.
which I haven't seen that since I first had access to them. But I'm guessing whenever they start putting materials into the thing to build their road, it's giving me materials, or it's supporting my road by saying, hey, here's materials this person just put in to keep your road going. So, oh, okay.
So the question is, has anybody just moved into the neighborhood and built a house on top of the path you just laid down?
They cannot actually do that. It might show up underneath the road, which is perfectly fine with me. But if I build a road and there's like a vehicle in the path where it's at, it's going to teleport that vehicle on top of the road to where, like, if it's like a road that I have to climb a ladder to get to or something from the auto paver, then yeah, it's kind of annoying. And I'm at that point where I'm seeing not just motorcycles but actual delivery trucks now, and people are just leaving their vehicles in the worst places imaginable, in the middle of the road,
Of course.
or spoiler, a certain cameo by someone is down in a valley, and then even further down the valley there's a small hole that leads to their house. Every time I go there, there's a different truck, not a motorcycle. Motorcycles are outside it, but the truck is always parked down in the hole, and there's not much room to maneuver around it. And it's really annoying.
I can imagine it would be.
The only upside to that is occasionally I'll find a vehicle that's better than mine, and then so I'll just like trade it out.
Yeah.
But I don't know how many motorcycles I've gotten, motorcycles or trucks I'll just see in the way, and I'm just really mad because I use the roads a lot, and just this thing suddenly appears. It's like, all right, I'm gonna stop, drive this off the road, and go on my way. And then
Well,
other
are
times
you
I'll
still?
get really mad and throw grenades at them.
That seems a bit harsh.
It's the only way to be sure they don't come back.
Ah, that would do it, I think. Are you still enjoying the game?
Yeah, it's still good. I mean, there's some tediousness to what I'm doing right now instead of just progressing in the story.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, the way I'm in the road that I'm working on and everything, that's not even the fastest way to travel. There's this rope line thing you can do. I don't know how it works. It's like an energy path or something. and it's really quick, and I might start setting those up because it's a great way to get around a lot quicker and avoiding all the BTs in the areas that I don't like traveling through by foot or vehicle, because it'll just blast me right past them.
Yeah. So it's like a zip line type of
Yes, like
deal?
a zip line. Supposedly it was supposed to be used to transport materials, but you can transport yourself.
I mean, technically, you are a material.
Yeah. So that, yeah, building roads and getting a whole bunch of social media likes on Yelp. That's what I've been doing still.
I mean, the most important things, right?
Yes. And the pizza and the underwear delivery thing is not a lie. I actually am doing that in the game as well.
Are, who's ordering underwear that needs to be delivered?
South Knot City is ordering underwear from a cosplayer.
Okay.
And so she will fill my entire backpack and then some with packages of that to deliver. I'll get over there and they're like, "Hey, take this all the way north and deliver this pizza." And so that's the main reason I wanted the road, is quicker transportation at the time for
Yeah.
pizza.
Plus, I mean, you don't want to be bouncing the pizza around and then have to go back and make a new one and deliver it because you ruined
Well,
it on
if
the
the
way
pizza's ruined, it's ruined. I think I failed my delivery. In fact, I have to make sure it stays horizontal, not, and I can't like have it slide vertical into my backpack or anything.
there. It gets that crazy.
Yeah, it starts showing that like internal damage happens to the item.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's picky.
You should not have like a balance meter for your pizza that you have to keep track of while you're running around. I mean, unless you're specifically playing a pizza delivery simulator.
I mean, technically, it's part of the game, so yeah.
Okay.
But that, I mean, unless you want me to talk about Destiny 2, that's all I've played.
I think you've talked about that quite a lot on this podcast before.
Have I?
What's a destiny? Is that a thing?
It's this little
Tell
thing.
me about it.
It's this little thing. It flies around and says, "Hey, you're not a zombie. You're living." And then it talks to you in like Nolan North.
Ah. Okay.
And there's this big thing called the Ghost.
I'm afraid of ghosts.
It's like explaining Destiny, but using wrong terms only. So, Tony, what have you been playing?
I have been playing stuff that's very different from what you guys have been playing.
How different?
So, well, first of all, I saw credits on Luigi's Mansion this week.
Congrats.
You posted it wrong, Miller. You posted it wrong.
I didn't know there was a specific way I was supposed to post my credits picture.
It's okay. It's just because there's a thing on Twitter through the overseas connection where you get they do a raffle every quarter and they give away eShop card or PSN card. But the way you get an entry is you take a photo of yourself with the credits screen of whatever game.
Oh.
I will have to keep that in mind.
Yeah, victory achieved.
Install YouTube on your Switch and pose with your Switch playing the credits.
No, you know what?
I have broken the system. Give me all the money.
I do have YouTube on my Switch, or did I delete it? I might have deleted it because I never watched it on there.
Please don't break the system. Just
do it.
It's fun. It's fun when people play fair.
Okay.
Do it.
So, yeah, and I played through that entire game co-op with my kids, so that was a really fun experience. I think it took us right at 11 hours, I think, to finish.
Sounds close.
I, of course, did not go for everything. I think the most I ever got was like 4 of the hidden gems on any one level. I was not going to try to find those. I may eventually go back at some point and maybe try to find them, but not right now.
By the way, Tony, I 100% agree this game was meant for co-op.
Absolutely, I think it was. So much of the last couple of boss fights, especially against the hotel owner, I would not have wanted to try that by myself.
It wasn't easy.
the final boss fight probably could have gotten away with that, but the one just before that, that would not have been fun single player. It was so much easier, I think, having two people controlling those characters at the same time. So,
yeah,
but
I wish I'd had a co-op partner for that final boss.
That game was every bit as fun and good as I expected it to be. So, yeah, very, very, very good game. But no, the other game that I have been playing is New Super Lucky's Tale on the Switch.
Oh, sweet.
Ew.
You definitely need to get this game, Shannon.
I have it on Game Pass. It is quite good, Travis.
So it is a fantastic throwback to old 3D platformers, Mario 64, Banjo-Kazooie, those type of
Conker's Bad
platformers. Yeah, but it's much more family friendly than Conker's Bad Fur Day.
So Conker 64 original before the makeover.
I'm probably halfway through the game at this point. I've finished 3 of the main sort of hub areas, and each hub area is broken up into 4 or 5 main levels, and then there are a couple bonus like puzzle levels that you can do to unlock these pages of a book that you're trying to find. And as you find the pages of this book, it unlocks further and further levels in the story. But yeah, it is very much old school throwback to those classic collectathon style platformers. There's multiple different pages of these books that you can collect in each level, and it's by doing different things like collecting 300 coins in a level, or there is always a hidden page that you find by doing a little mini game inside each level, and it's usually a timed thing where you just have to collect a certain number of gems, and if you do that, it gives you the bonus page. Or in every level, the word lucky is hidden throughout, much like the Kong letters in the Donkey Kong Country games. This time you're just spelling out lucky, and if you find all 5 letters of lucky, you get an additional bonus page. And also, the more of those you collect, the more outfits that you can get for lucky. So there are lots of collectible outfits in this game. I have 2 or 3 at the moment. You've got just the regular, he's not really dressed in anything. The first costume that I got that was a bonus was he's got lederhosen and a little, hat with a feather in it, so he looks like a little German fox going to Oktoberfest. The next one I got, which is the one that I'm wearing right now, makes him look sort of like Indiana Jones.
Okay.
So,
all right.
It gives him a fedora and I think a leather jacket, and then there's also what makes him look like a state trooper. It gives him dark aviator sunglasses and a white button-up shirt. So
I don't think my dad wore aviator glasses when he was a trooper.
So, but it is so good. It is the controls are really, really tight. You have regular jumps. You can double jump. There are coins and things hidden underground that he can burrow under the ground and basically swim around. And there are enemies like flowers that act sort of like, they're not thwomps. What are the other ones? Womps, where
yes,
you'll walk up to them and they'll kind of slam down on the ground, and then you have to jump on their back and ground pound on them. So, yeah, if you really like 3D platformers, I could not recommend this enough. It is so good. It looks so cute. Every character in there is adorable. They all sort of speak in Simlish. Uh, the biggest problem I think with the game is the loading screens. There's a lot of them, and they are sort of slow. At least they are on the Switch. I don't know about on the Xbox One how they are, if it's faster on that system, or if they're also, still pretty slow on that system. But yeah, it's so much fun and it is so good. If it's not at the level of like a Mario Odyssey, but it's that next level down. It's really fun. It's really bright and it's really colorful. Kids are gonna love it. So, really, really recommend anybody check that out. I think there's a demo on the eShop as well, which will let you play the first couple of levels, so you can check it out and see what you think about it. So, but that's all that I have been playing. I expect to finish that up sometime in the next few days. But let's take a quick break. We will come back and we will talk about the news. Well, guys, this week, Sonic the Hedgehog, the movie, got a new trailer. On Tuesday, Paramount Pictures released a new trailer for the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. This trailer was important in that it showed off the new look for the titular character. Reaction to the original trailer for the film was overwhelmingly negative, prompting the studio to delay the original release of the film and redesign Sonic's look. Twitter users were immediately praising the new look for the film. Some fans said that while the character still wasn't 100% accurate to the video games, it was a huge improvement over the original design that had given Sonic a much more human-like appearance. Some even said that they would go and see the film now because the main character was no longer nightmare fuel.
Right?
The trailer, which was approximately 3 minutes in length, showed off much more of Sonic in what appeared to be an attempt by the studio to appeal to fans. There's also more footage showing Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik. Gone from this trailer, though, was the Gangster's Paradise soundtrack. It's been taken out and replaced by the Ramones song Blitzkrieg Bop.
Okay. And then, I'm going to correct you on that one. That just showed up for like a brief moment. But they used like 3 different songs, and there was some Green Hill Zone in there, man.
That's true.
The original trailer was just a solid Gangster's Paradise run.
Yeah.
So this, this trailer, all praise, man.
So the movie is now slated to come out. It's slated to come out on Valentine's Day 2020. So it's the perfect date movie, really.
I think it was originally coming out Valentine's Day. They pushed it back to March for this redesign, and now we're back to Valentine's Day.
Okay, so yeah, I don't remember. I didn't remember the March. But what do you guys think of it? I think it is 100 times better than that original trailer was.
It is better. I can't wait for the Blu-ray that has the original cut.
That's what one of the someone was asking for that was part of involved in it. They're like, yeah, I want the Blu-ray to have the original cut in here. It's like, yeah, I kind of want to see that myself just so I can hate it even more.
They spent money on it. They had to have produced at least 80% of it. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's an unrealistic thought, but yeah, if that full original cut is on Blu-ray.
Yeah. The Blu-ray menu pops up. It's like, do you want or you want bad Sonic or good Sonic? It's like, this one. And there's your movie.
I want the version with Sonic Boom Sonic.
It's better than the first Sonic that was on that trailer.
That's true. So we haven't really talked about the redesign. We had previous to this trailer, there were some leaks of what people thought was the new redesigned version of Sonic, which I think ended up being true. They completely redesigned him. They didn't just go in and tweak some stuff, completely changed the model. His face is completely redone. He doesn't have the singular sort of the one eye thing like Sonic in the games does. He still does have 2 separate eyes, but they're much more anime in style now.
Much larger.
They're much larger. They fixed whatever that was going on in the mouth area, and made it look much more like the actual video game version of the character. He has gloves now, and they fixed the shoes.
Oh,
So-
yes, they did.
So instead of those weird generic looking tennis
Sneakers.
shoes, he has Sonic's shoes now. They're oversized. They've got the the socks that are bunched down over the top of them.
And
then
there's a little extra on the shoes.
Is there?
Yep. Although that
What
might have
is-
just been the advertisement thing for the other thing.
The Puma thing?
For the Puma, yes.
Yeah. So definitely I think a huge improvement over. This is what it should have been in the first place. And I sort of think maybe, it's probably not true, but I think maybe they had they released that original version just to get that reaction and then go back and fix it.
See, there's no reason to have done that. That would be really costly to do.
Oh, I agree.
But I mean, if that was their entire plan the whole time, then that's like a marketing genius move. Like, garner your negative feedback so that way you come back and it's like all this positive feedback just overflows then.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, they did this? Okay, yeah, I'm interested now. And it's like, okay, cool. But that could have been like the death knell for anything going forward with the Sonic movie.
Yeah.
Just dead or on arrival.
And the other thing that they did, which I think was a really good idea, was showed off more of the humor of the character, which you didn't really get in the first trailer.
You know what else they showed that they didn't have in the first trailer?
What?
Green Hill Zone. Yeah.
That's true as well. And that was a really pretty version of Green Hill.
Yeah, it's like I thought it looked pretty in Generations and I guess Sonic Forces as well, but this is really good.
What did you guys think of? They showed off a little bit more of Dr. Robotnik too. What did you guys think of that? Shannon, are you a Jim Carrey fan, first of all?
Jim Carrey's done some garbage that I am not a fan of.
Yeah.
But if he does a good liar cable guy out of this, I'm gonna be down. He looks like he's invoking the right amount of crazy.
There was definitely a few moments that I was like, oh, that is very much a Jim Carrey thing. Like when he has his back turned and he throws his arms up in the air and he's screaming. That was classic. That looked like Ace Ventura doing Dr. Robotnik.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm still looking forward to seeing him go full on Robotnik with the goggles and all that, though, and the
I want to know,
bushy
is he
mustache.
I really want to know, are they going to swell him up with CG for the sequel? Like, is he going to get as big as Robotnik gets eventually?
They'd have to make him. They'd have to like not Oompa Loompa him, but give him a little bit of some blueberries or something he's allergic to, so he swells up like a balloon.
Yeah, I'm down.
So, because I don't know how you get from looking like Jim Carrey to looking like an egg with legs.
They just deep fake his face on somebody else's body.
Oh gosh.
But yeah, I'm much more interested in going and seeing this movie now, and I think a lot of people are, and I almost think we sort of owe it to the production team to go see this movie.
I was going to see it either way, so.
See, I with that first one, there's no way I would have gone to a movie theater.
If the person that runs the theater here in town was like, yeah, I'm going to show it, I would have been like, well, I guess I'll be going to see it with it. I'm taking Izzy with me. Whether he wanted to go or not.
But the thing is, they listened to the reaction of the fans, and they went back and they took the time, and I'm assuming a considerable amount of money, because you can't just plop the new Sonic model on those old animations and make it work. They had to completely redo everything. So it's really nice that they've actually done that and listened to the fans. And so now it's up to the fans, I think, to show that same sort of, respect to the production team that went back and did this, and go see this movie. So.
Okay. Oh, going back to Dr. Robotnik, they don't need to make Jim Carrey fat for any of Robotnik stuff.
No?
If you recall Sonic 2006,
I've never played
Robotnik
that.
wasn't exactly fat in that one. He was like had a bigger chest, bigger in the chest area, like bulky, I guess, a little bit, but not overly done. But he wasn't Eggman shape. We'll go with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Honestly, I thought that was like one of his better designs, despite how bad that game was.
I'm trying to remember. I want him to go. I want him to look like, I think it's the Sonic X version of Robotnik, maybe, that I'm thinking of. It's got like giant shoulder pads.
Man.
I think that's the weird.
That's basic design. He's still kind of chubby.
Yeah, so
Sonic 06 Eggman.
I'll have to.
Okay, here's a good picture. Copy address. Here, Sonic. Message is too long. Great.
You broke something. You can't do that in the middle of the show.
Right? Give me a second here.
Well, I will try to stall while you show us the picture, because I don't remember what he looked like.
There.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's weird looking.
Yeah, but it's like one of his better. Like the gold on those 4 attachments on his thing were like really well done. The suit and everything. He's more human in this one.
Yeah. You're going to have to make sure you put that in the video so people can see what we're talking about.
I have to think that over since we're talking Sonic 06. Are you sure you're not thinking of Sonic Boom Eggman?
No, this is an older cartoon that he looked maybe I'm just remembering it different. I'll have to go back and look and see, because I don't remember. But let's move on from Sonic and let's talk Stadia.
Okay.
Because ahead of this week's Google Stadia launch, and I think it's on Tuesday, the developers went to Reddit to talk about features that will not be available on the service and some that might.
And it was a big AMA is what it was.
Yeah, and among the list of features that will not be available are an achievement system. The developers have said that the system will keep track of achievements that have been earned, but they won't be available to view or register on a player's account until a few weeks after launch, when the achievement system fully launches. Once it does, any achievements that were earned before that point would automatically register to the user's account.
Retroactive achievements. That's not horrible.
No. Another thing that will not be available is family sharing. Parents will be able to manage a child's account and use parental controls to limit what the children can see and play. However, family sharing would not be available at launch, so family members wouldn't be able to share their game libraries with each other. The feature is considered a high priority, though, and will be available early in 2020.
Yeah, I'm starting to think this project was rushed a little bit.
Yeah, it seems like there's a whole lot of things that they were promising that they're delivering on.
Well, we're not done.
We're definitely not done, because what you just said just makes me laugh now.
The only devices that will be able to launch Stadia when it releases this week are the Chromecast Ultra devices that launch with the service. Current Chromecast Ultra users would not be able to access Stadia until an update hits those devices sometime after launch. And multiplayer will also not be available. The service will be limited to single-player experiences at launch, even if the game is a multiplayer game. An update before the end of the year will add the first game to feature Stream Connect, which is their multiplayer service, and then State Share and Crowd Player, which are other multiplayer features that they've talked about in the past, won't launch until sometime in 2020. One thing, though, that they did, it wasn't all negative. One thing that they did, one thing they did show off was what they're calling I think it's officially called which is a device that attaches to the controller and lets you, slot a phone into it, so you can hold the phone and a controller at the same time.
Okay. It's handy, I guess.
So, yeah. But the more I hear about this Stadia service, the more I think if it doesn't work perfectly and get a lot of updates very quickly, it's going to die very fast.
Also, Google's idea of what a launch window is consists of like 3 months. And their launch window has 14 games.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's not uncommon. I think Nintendo used the 3 months after like the Wii as their launch period, so they would always.
Well, it's like all these games weren't out at once. It was like the launch window versus your launch day. It's like launch day, I guess you have access to Destiny 2, and they only have one exclusive game to their platform as well.
Yeah.
Which I neglected to get the name of. Shame on me.
And the biggest blow, I think, to Stadia came, if it wasn't later that day, it was maybe when Microsoft announced the xCloud beta.
Mm-hmm.
Because they announced that and announced that there are 50 games that will be available through the beta period of xCloud.
Yep.
So, if you're wanting to stream games, xCloud might be the one you want to look at. You can sign up for it now. I know at least on Android you can. I think iOS is still not available, but it's. But I signed up for the xCloud beta earlier today. All you need is a controller that is Bluetooth capable, an Xbox controller that is Bluetooth capable, and then a phone that's running Android 6.0 or higher. And then it's also available on PC, but I don't know all of the specs for the PC version of it that you'll need. So, but yeah.
Yeah, take that, Google.
The more I see about it, the more I think they're not ready to launch.
It's even worse. Like, people who ordered day one probably won't have their Stadia thing until maybe a week or two after it's already launched as well.
That's true, because not everybody that has pre-ordered the system will get it on launch day.
I think there was like one of their employees who worked on building it won't even have their like they turned around and ordered it. They won't even have theirs in on launch day, and they work for Google. That was one of the things I got from watching one of the videos from The Know about this.
Wow, it needs more time. I think this is sort of their beta period. I think right now is really what this launch is. I mean, I know they've had a beta, but this is definitely more of a soft launch than a full-on launch of the service.
I just feel like the more tidbits of information that they push out through these weird channels, the more confused I am, because they haven't been forthcoming and said, hey, this is exactly what it's going to do. This is the exact time frame. And then, I mean, as interesting as the idea is for Stadia, if you're not going to be clear, I'm not putting any money towards it. There's too much confusion. There's too much room for what am I actually getting.
Yeah, and with only one game that's going to be, included in the service, and then every other game you have to pay for, and you're going to have to pay full price. They've already said that it's going to be $60 for a lot of these games that you're going to want to buy.
Yeah, the fact that it's not a service, like, I don't get that because you don't physically tangibly own anything. It's not like, you don't. Google has not done a very good job historically of proving that they can keep a system running for a length of time.
They're actually historically known for just taking new projects and getting them developed and then just dropping the thing altogether.
Right. So me investing money, or anyone rather, investing money in creating a digital content library for a new service that may not exist 5 years from now seems like the wrong approach. If
Yeah.
they did something along the lines of Game Pass and said, hey, it's, X dollars a month, you do have to buy your fancy controller outright, but you pay this monthly service fee and you have access to 100 or whatever games that will rotate. Like, if you want to buy any of them, go ahead and buy them, but here's like our select premier option of titles, pay us our monthly fee.
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing I'd throw money at. That's the same kind of thing Apple just did with Apple Arcade, 2 months ago?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the right way to handle that. I believe some of those games you can buy outright and just get them on your phone or Apple TV or whatever, or you could do it through the Apple Arcade and just get them as part of the service.
And right after Apple Arcade launched, Google put out their Play subscription, which I do subscribe to Google Play's thing. It's $2 a month right now, but it's not nearly as good as Apple Arcade. And it was their response to Apple and their streaming service. Granted, or not their streaming service, but their subscription service. The difference between Apple's and Google's, though, is that Google's also includes other apps. So, you've got weather apps and all other kinds of apps that you can also get for free as part of the subscription. But the list of games isn't nearly as good as Apple Arcade's was. And let's be fair, xCloud, you're going to have access to those 50 games now, but that you're not guaranteed that those are going to stay as part of the service for free. And
Right.
You're going to have to pay for Microsoft games that you play through xCloud. The difference being, though, they have games with Gold or Game Pass, that they will be able to, immediately bundle with that, and you have that library of games that you'll have access to for your subscription price every month. And they continue to add to that, and you get brand new releases day one if you're subscribed to Game Pass. So as long as xCloud, the streaming portion of it works, and Microsoft is going to make sure that works before they release it to the general public, they have a really good chance of blowing Stadia right out of the water. So,
yeah, I agree with that.
But we shall see over the next few months how the streaming wars, how they go. EA is hoping that people will come back to Anthem at some point in the future. And they're going to do that by giving Anthem the Final Fantasy XIV Realm Reborn treatment. Anthem has had a rocky road up to this point. The game launched and players didn't really seem to care for it that much. And as such, the game sort of faded from view. It got so bad that at one point someone checked Twitch statistics to see how many people were playing the game, and it was in the single digits, wasn't it, Ethan?
I know there was 18 viewers worldwide watching Anthem being played. However, I don't know if that was like 18, if there was like 18 people streaming and each had individual viewers, or if we're talking like one streamer and 18 viewers watching that one streamer.
Regardless, the number was very low for a fairly new game.
It's like you could look at some older games like Super Mario World, which has a massive following, but it's not going to have the numbers that new games usually have, like Death
Yeah.
Stranding and Luigi's Mansion 3 on Twitch, but even like Super Mario World has way larger numbers than Anthem.
Regardless, EA and BioWare aren't ready to call it quits on the game just yet. According to Kotaku, sources have said that although EA declined to comment on the matter, BioWare is apparently going to overhaul everything, including its mission structure, its loot, and its world. According to those sources, BioWare is still working out the details, like whether or not it'll be an actual Anthem 2.0. This is probably their best bet marketing-wise, or a series of sequential updates that make the game better. Another name that's being thrown out is Anthem Next, and it's unlikely that 1.0 users will be charged full price if it's a new SKU entirely. As Kotaku points out, the game has not been abandoned completely either way, so if they actually follow through with this, it could be good for Anthem.
You know, if they do it right, I might even check it out myself, because that original Anthem beta test was horrible. And that's saying it lightly.
Yeah. Well, Final Fantasy XIV was awful in its initial. Like, it was a garbage game.
I was a beta tester for that too, so yeah.
And didn't they basically fire the entire team or a lot of the team that had worked on it and brought in a completely new crew?
I forget what they did on there, but I do remember they like had darkness just take over the world or something, and you have like a list of your survivors and they're like part of the game world now or something. There's a special thanks for the survivors. They're listed in the game somewhere.
Yeah, but that game got completely overhauled, and basically it was a brand new game. It was a completely separate game when it launched Realm Reborn,
Yes.
and it's way better. It's actually a good game now.
Yes, I still recommend playing Final Fantasy 14.
If EA and BioWare can pull this off, that'll be some crazy good news. And I hope they can, because I liked the idea of Anthem, but I never played it in its original incarnation because there was so much bad press around it after it launched.
I think one of the last problems I ever heard was like getting like one of the best guns in the game, and just the random roll for stats made it like worse than like your starting weapons. Like, just
Really?
it's like, hey, here's the best gun, but its damage output is so low that your starting weapon is stronger, and just
Wow.
crap like that happening. Just this unofficially claimed Destiny killer trying to outdo Destiny and just doing it the wrong way.
Do you think Anthem 2.0 goes free to play? Like Destiny has done?
If they're smart, they might find a way to do that.
The problem's going to be how are you going to handle microtransactions? Because if
It's EA, they'll figure it out.
If a game that already had so much negativity around it comes back and it's free to play and it's filled with gross, terrible microtransactions, that's going to put a lot of people off right there. But at the same time, if it's free, maybe people will be like, you know what? I'll check it out. We'll see. But they're going to have to find that really nice balance of free to play versus microtransactions versus just bringing out a brand new premium $60 game. So, but speaking of Final Fantasy, Microsoft and Square Enix announced there's a lot of Final Fantasy coming to the Xbox.
Yay!
During this week's XO19 presentation, I think that's how you pronounce it, Square Enix and Microsoft announced that they're basically bringing all the Final Fantasy games from 7 on to the Xbox One. No official release dates have been given for these, but sometime between this holiday and the end of 2020, the following list of games will be coming to the Xbox One. We got Final Fantasy VII. This is not the remastered version. This is the old.
I think they're getting the remastered, aren't they?
I mean, I think they are, but this is not that. This is that old based on the PC.
Yeah.
Final
Well,
Fantasy VII.
the one that came out on PS4, PS1, and all that fun stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Final Fantasy VIII Remastered, Final Fantasy IX, Final Fantasy X and X-2, Final Fantasy XII, Final Fantasy 13, 13.2, 13.3, which is Lightning Returns. I just call it 13.3.
Honestly,
That's
that's
all
what
right.
it is. I don't know why they try to pretend it's just not that. We all know.
All the Final Fantasy 13s are already just in it.
That's true. Are they on Xbox One already?
Yes.
Okay.
Through
And then
backwards
Final
compatibility,
Fantasy
right?
15.
Oh yeah, Final
Yes.
Fantasy 15's on there too, which is also Final Fantasy 13 Versus or something at the time it originally existed.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no escape.
So, but yeah, all of those games are, well, not all of them, because I 13 and its group are not on Switch, but all of those other games are on Switch now. So it makes sense that they also bring it to the Xbox One. The
13's
only
not good
game,
enough for it to be on Switch.
man, if the 13 trilogy would come to Switch, I'd buy them on that system. I can't find copies for the PlayStation 3 anywhere in my area. I want to buy that trilogy. I've been, you know, warning that I would buy that trilogy for a long time now, and I want to do it.
Don't do it.
The only games that are not, well, the only games they didn't talk about during that presentation are 11 and 14 for somewhat obvious reasons because they're very different from the other ones.
Well, one,
However,
11 isn't allowed to be on consoles anymore because something Square decided.
so uh, with 14, though, Phil Spencer was asked after the presentation about the game, and he said, I wanted you to know, rest assured that we will be bringing that game to Xbox. We have a great relationship with Yoshida-san, and we're working through what it means to bring to Xbox a cross-platform MMO that they've run for years.
They've done something amazing with Square Enix. Like they're pulling all of these Japanese developers over. It is awesome.
So, and not only are Final Fantasy games coming,
Nope.
but Kingdom Hearts games are coming to the Xbox.
Yeah, boy, you can't escape.
3 is already on the system, but
All
you will be able to
25
play-
others are not.
you will be able to play the entire run of Kingdom Hearts because 1.5, 2.5, and 2.8 are coming to the Xbox One.
Basically, the story so far. That
Yes.
collection that came out on PS4 last year is coming to Xbox.
So that includes 1, 2, 358 over 2 days, and some of these are not playable. They're like they're movies basically.
The DS game, the
Um,
2 original DS games, they did not make the games playable. So Recoded and 358 over 2, what they did is they basically took the entirety of the game's story and summarized each of them about an hour and a half long
Yeah.
cinematic that you watch like a movie.
They're saving you the time of not having to play those 2 games.
Yeah, they're okay.
358 over 2 days was a decent game.
Yeah, it was okay.
Or is it Dream Drop Distance that I'm thinking of?
Dream Drop Distance
Dream
3D.
Drop Distance
so
was 3DS, and Dream Drop Distance is fully playable in the 2.8 disc that came out 2 years ago.
Yeah.
It is way better on PS4 than it ever was on 3DS.
oh, of course.
I played it on 3DS.
3DS was good, and they introduced like a really cool flow mechanic that helped movement, especially with the limited controls of the 3DS. But the fact that they kept that flow motion movement mechanic in the PS4 port and then also brought that flow motion thing into Kingdom Hearts 3 just made those 2 games like the best of the. It was a nightmare to go from playing Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance back to playing through the original game, getting ready for Kingdom. It was so hard to go back.
So, if you have not played the Kingdom Hearts games and you own an Xbox, you will be able to do that. I think in 2020. I don't Did they give
Yeah,
release dates for those?
They said 2020.
Okay.
They also announced another series that is coming to Xbox that is not in the show notes that I forgot to put in the show notes. That is Yakuza.
Oh, that's right. I had forgotten about that. I'm glad you
Yakuza
reminded
0,
me.
Yakuza Kiwami, and Yakuza Kiwami 2 have all been confirmed for 2020, and they're coming to Game Pass.
That is insane. Oh, and all of these Final Fantasy games will be on Game Pass as well.
The fact that they're bringing over 0 and the 2 Kiwami games, could you imagine if we get the entire Yakuza series?
If these games sell well, I think it's almost a no-brainer that they'll bring the rest of them.
I'm buying them. I'm not just getting them on Game Pass. I am actually going to spend money. I want to throw money at this. I want it to happen.
Yeah.
I am so sold on Microsoft's back compatibility and how they handle digital rights ownership when it comes to video games. I would love to own these digitally through my. I have the hard copies for PlayStation, but if this future-proofs me and makes it to where I can carry these further than what I could, having the hard copies on PS4 or PS3, I'm in.
I know the. I don't have an Xbox One. I went PlayStation for this generation. But there've been a couple times I've thought about going and picking up an Xbox because I do like what they've been doing. I like their openness now to work with other companies like Nintendo. That all digital Xbox is going to be like $150 around Black Friday. I might have to see if I can figure out how to get one of those.
All digital is not a bad way to go. I mean, I have an Xbox One X, and the only disc games that I own are Lego Dimensions
and 500 copies of Dead Rising 3.
Well, I sold all those copies of Dead Rising 3, but so the only disc that I've kept is Lego Dimensions, only because they never sold the base game digitally on the Xbox store. So I have to have a disc to play that game.
Yeah. And I know the Xbox One all digital comes with 3 games. It's Minecraft, Fortnite, and something else. Forza.
Fortnite.
I think it's Forza.
Ooh, Forza.
You know, saying it comes with Fortnite, that's kind of strange.
It comes with a bunch of V-Bucks for Fortnite.
So so it doesn't come with Fortnite.
You still have to download Fortnite, but you get some V-Bucks for Fortnite.
It comes Fortnite ready.
Yes.
Are those like Smurf berries for Fortnite?
Basically, yes. They
Okay.
are. V-Bucks are Fortnite's digital currency that you have to buy with real money.
I'm an old man.
Oh, speaking of Yakuza, going back to Sonic the Hedgehog the movie, Sega's got their own logo on there, and it's a bunch of It's a bunch of tiny screenshots from Sega games on there. Yes, whatever that is, a collage, and in one specific panel, you can see the back of Kiryu from Yakuza.
Nice.
So he's shown up in a Sonic movie.
Yay!
Not that there isn't a Yakuza movie that he's shown up in already. Because I have that movie.
And this has nothing to do with any of those, but The Mandalorian launched this week with Disney Plus, and it's related to video games in that I was watching something, and to help keep the costs for a TV show for Star Wars down, they're actually using Unreal Engine to do the environments in The Mandalorian.
Good idea.
Which I thought was interesting. I'd never heard about that, the Unreal Engine being used for like a TV show or a movie in any way. So I thought that was interesting. There's a couple of spots where now that I know, there's some things that I think, you know what? Okay, I can kind of see that that might have been done a little better if they were using something more traditional for movies or whatever. But I just thought that was an interesting little piece of trivia that I had found out this week.
I did not know about that.
So, but yeah, all of their big wide shots and environmental shots are done in Unreal Engine. So there you go. There's your little fun fact for this week. But that is it for the news. So let's move on to listener feedback. We got one question in this week from Federico, who wants to know what are our expectations or guesses for the next generation when it comes to Nintendo. We're getting ready to launch 2 brand new systems from Sony and Microsoft, and Nintendo's going to have to do something if they want to keep up, because the PlayStation 5 and Scarlet are going to be so much more powerful than the current systems, so that's going to make that gap between the Switch and their competitors that much wider.
So Nintendo hasn't ever really about competition, at least not from my perspective. It doesn't look like they ever really care. It seems like they march to the beat of the drum.
It's true.
They're not ever really competing. They just have their own, they have their own fan base that's going to buy the thing for what it is. The only thing that I kind of expect at this point is, number one, that they're going to discontinue the DS. That has yet to happen. If you look at Black Friday, they still have 2DS Black Friday this year.
It's not officially been killed. They're still saying they're supporting it, but they're not supporting it.
Right. The last game that was officially released on the DS was Persona, and that was in June. So I expect that they will officially kill it, take it out to pasture. And I expect that next year we're going to get some sort of Switch X, like whatever the Switch Pro. I mean, there should be a system that has the capability of doing either 1080, some kind of better resolution on the screen, docked. But I would hope, solely because a Shield, like the whole thing, that it seemed that the Switch kind of got the hardware has kind of been based off it capable.
Yeah.
Pushing Switch.
Yeah, the problem that they're going to run into is if they do a Pro or an X version of that, how's that going to affect Switch Lite? Man,
I don't think it's going to matter, because you have people play. There's still, tons of people. You have an original Xbox. Hello.
There you are.
You were breaking up real bad there.
Very bad.
Okay.
Actually, you've been doing that the whole time you were talking.
Oh, lovely.
But I'm assuming you're going to compare it to the original Xbox One and to the Xbox One X whenever you can have the same game on both of them, but the 4K resolution one's going to be on the Xbox One X.
Right. I mean, the game is still the same. The disc essentially has whatever the lowest version is on the disc, and then when you go to install, it's downloading stuff from the server that is making it 4K.
Yeah.
I would imagine it would be something to effect, capable across the board with every system, but Pro is going to have an extra couple of gigs of data that
just something to take advantage of that extra horsepower.
Right.
Honestly, I want to see them release a beefed up console as well. That would probably only work in docked mode, it would have to be only docked at the time, I guess. But just so it can handle the extra horsepower. But I also want to see them include like a streaming service both on a newer console release or revision, as well as making an update to have that stream capability on the older one. So that way, like I don't know, you can stream something at least with your phone tethered or something somehow, I guess. Or maybe they'll even just do like what Xbox doing and have an app out there, and you can stream Super Nintendo games or whatever on there, or maybe even GameCube 64 games.
Well, I think the Switch has proven super successful for them. So whatever they do, they're going to keep that sort of all-in-one handheld console thing going. They're going to figure out whatever solution it is so that you have a system that you can have with you plugged into your TV. Maybe the dock gives it that extra horsepower, that extra processing power, or whatever, and then you can take that with you. Or they have the Switch Lite, which is essentially their next hand, but still can play all of the Switch games.
Right.
I don't think they're going to get away from that at this point. We're not going to see Nintendo break everything up where you have a handheld division and a console division anymore. It's all going to be together. I think that has proven more successful than maybe they had originally imagined.
Yeah, I mean, they're doing something right. It's working really well. It's just going into the next revision of major hardware for the next generation. They're gonna have to do something off the walls, or do something along the lines that the competitors are doing, just so they can put their own spin on it at least.
Mm-hmm.
And we already know they can do some sort of streaming stuff, like with Resident Evil 7 on Switch. So
yeah.
So I'm thinking we'll probably see something with streaming with them in the not too distant future.
I think we'll probably see. Well, I don't know. That's just speculation and hope that we'll see some partnership with to get streaming up and running, and then maybe we'll see Game Pass on the Switch.
Maybe we'll see like a 3G version of the Switch release, like there was with the Vita, but that was like a first edition thing.
Yeah, I don't know that they'll do that.
You still see those on occasion. It's kind of funny if you find them. It's like, who uses this? Does AT&T even support that anymore?
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think you can actually get service for that.
Pretty sure that was AT&T that was doing that one. Either way, I bet you can still get service. It's not going to be the best.
So, well, all right, but to go along with listener feedback this week, our question of the week, I wanted to know, none of us have played it yet, so we can't really respond, but I wanted to know what people thought of the recent release of Pokemon Sword and Shield. And Federico told us that he thinks the new Pokemon game looks gorgeous and it controls really well. He just made it to the first Poke Center at the time of this recording, so
cool.
Nice.
He likes it. Nick via Facebook also responded and said, I'm disappointed by how rapidly my Pokemon level up. I hardly used my team and was 10 levels or so above the first gym leader, hoping it evens out. So, the one thing they did do with this, like they did in Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, and I want to say there was a way to do it in Sun and Moon, was the EXP share is on by default now for the entire team. And so every Pokemon in your party gains experience in every battle.
It's something that's just on, but you can go in deactivate.
Yeah, the option to not turn it off is what's making a lot of people mad about that. But honestly, I think I don't think there's an option on the new one to turn it off.
I don't think so.
Pretty sure that's what the complaints have been about that. But even so, I mean, just having it as an option to turn off, I'm sure the hardcore players would love. Like, apparently Nick would probably like that a lot.
Yeah.
But I mean, in this one, they've also taken out the random encounters, so now you can see the Pokemon chasing you in the fields. Mm-hmm. And some of those,
they had done that in the Let's Go games too.
Yes, so. But seeing it on the new one where you have all like the there's like that pinkish bear thing with the black arms and legs chasing the character, and there's like 50 of them in the field. That is horrifying looking. It's like you're not playing Pokemon, you're playing survival horror against zombies at that point.
Yeah.
And they're gonna win.
So the reaction I've seen online has definitely been mixed, but at least on Twitter that I've seen, more of the people that have played have said it's still a really fun game. I've seen some negativity from people who have played it, but I think it leans more positive than it does negative.
Yeah, if it's still a solid game to play, then it's still a solid game. If you're not liking it because you're a purist towards that hashtag that Game Freak lied, then that's your problem for not wanting to play a good game. It's like we complained about the Sonic movie and got that fixed.
Yeah.
But this is a game that was already coming out like later in the week, and people are just now getting around to complaining about that much on there.
Like I understand a lot of the people who are reacting negatively to the game, that they make a lot of really good, and I don't fault them for that in any way. But
right.
I think these Pokemon games are still fun to play, and younger players especially, who the games are really sort of geared toward, aren't going to care as much.
Especially if you're especially like your younger kids. Is this going to be like what, their second, third Pokemon game?
It'll be their second one. They played Let's Go, and that was their first Pokemon experience.
They're probably gonna adore this game if they get it.
Yeah.
They're not going to care. Whereas we grew up with a dot matrix Game Boy screen with with very, very basic graphic designs.
Yep.
And we liked it.
Yeah.
Yep. We liked it because the game was fun.
Yeah. Exactly.
I just realized, like halfway through that, I was realizing this was one of those back in my day.
Get off my.
Just start doing a Grandpa Simpson random story that goes nowhere.
Yeah.
So I wore an onion on my belt, as was style at the time.
So, well, there you go. That is going to be it for this week's show. So thank you, Shannon, for being on.
Pleasure.
And thank you, Ethan.
I said, give me 5 B's for a quarter. Because at the time, the quarter had a B on it. Grandpa Simpson.
If you want to reach out to us, we have new ways to do so. You can email us at procedurallygeneratedent@gmail.com. If you like what we do, you can support us on Patreon by going to patreon.com/pgent. Patreon supporters get the video version of the podcast a day early. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/progenint. Check out our YouTube channel, and we still have that famous Facebook group where you can interact with us on a daily basis as well.